So I got a question from a viewer, and it is a classic question where he plays very well during practice. He practices very well, can hit all his top spins and all he performs well, but during match time, he's not able to replicate it. He's not able to replicate his good performance. And so why is that? And I don't think it's anything technical because obviously he's playing well during practice, but in the match situation, it is very different, right? There are stakes in a match. There are things that are happening in a match that don't happen in practice. There's emotion. There's basically the point is won or the point is lost. Yeah, maybe you're doing a practice match, but when it's recorded, when it's a high school match or a college match or tournament match, these things are recorded and they're real, right? That they have some finality to it, and so there is a big mental side to playing matches. So you have to approach it a little bit differently than in practice. And so here's a point where I'm just going to illustrate what happens here. And so here I am serving. Daniel's the one returning here. And when I serve here, I'm serving up to the tee, right? You need to have a good serve, right? You need to have good placement, right? Here's a backhand cross court. Again, you need to have good topspin. You need to practice those top spins here. Daniel goes with this backhand, and then I go with this inside out forehand for the winner. And you need to practice those. You need to have a good inside out forehand. But what am I doing here in its totality, right? What is my mission? What is my strategy in this particular point? And that is to go to Daniel's backhand, right? So my first serve, right? My serve was to the backhand. My backhand cross court was to Daniel's backhand. And again, my inside out shot was to Daniel's backhand. And are you thinking about it tactically in your matches? Or are you just hoping that your forehands are great? Are you just hoping your serves are great? That is not enough. You have to implement some tactics. You have to implement some strategy. You have to have a plan. And that was my plan in this particular point, was to just hammer at Daniel's backhand and force the error or find a way to get a winner from that. But most importantly, you got to find a way to force errors from your opponent. And if that is not your thinking in the match, if your thinking is just to play well and hopefully your top spins are working well, that is not enough, because most of the time when you're playing a match, you're not at 100% capability. It's just not going to happen, right? You're not going to be in the zone all the time. You could be in the zone, but that'll be nice, right? But it's just not going to happen for you. So learn to have tactics in your matches. Learn to have a specific goal. Learn to have a plan A, plan B, plan C. And then maybe you could win your matches just like you do well in your practices. Also, in a match, you're going to encounter these important points like this one, like break point number 5, right? And I'm serving here. And so there may be a lot of things going on in this match. Maybe I am mentally fatigued over 5 different break points. Maybe this game is obviously going on pretty long, right? Maybe sometimes in your matches, there'll be a crowd, right? There'll be a crowd cheering here, rooting for you or rooting for the other person. Maybe there's some weird distracting noises here or something going on outside that may distract you. A lot of things can be going on during the match. Maybe the sun's heating up. Maybe there's a new gust of wind that's happening, blowing in your face. And so in a match, there are, again, stakes, and you are physically and mentally stressed by them, not like you are in a practice. In a practice, there's no stakes, right? So when you're hitting awesome forehand top spins, that is just it. It's good, right? It's good that you're playing well in practice, but it's not counted, right? It's not counted. So in these situations, you have to know yourself, right? Break point number 5. how are you going to approach this? What are you going to do tactically? And how is your emotional state, right? So you have to know yourself in that. What is your personality like? So I am more of a calm person, but during these situations, like break point, game points, I don't want to be calm at all. I want to be fired up. And so I will either emote something like let's go or come on or let's do this. I could just do that inside my own head. I could just fire up something in my own head, and I don't have to show it to anybody else, right? I'm not that type of person where I show my emotions all the time, but I know who I am, and I know that I want to be fired up for these moments. And maybe you're not that way. Maybe you are a person that is already fired up, already amped up, already at a very high emotional state, and you want to calm yourself down. And so you have to find a way to calm yourself down during these situations. And so here I'm fired up. I went for this out wide ad side serve. That's my serve there, my go-to serve. To get Daniel here to hit a backhand, and I got a forced error from that, and I survived this game. And so in matches, you're going to have to play very well in these important points. In practices, there aren't really important points, even though there are practice matches that you can do. In real matches, right, it is recorded. A high school match, college match, tournament match, these things are recorded. So that's why there's some emotion behind it. There's some a little bit more stress behind it, and you have to learn how to manage that as best as possible by just knowing yourself and knowing what to do in these moments. If you enjoyed this video, kindly do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.